Hi everyone, it's Dan here from Flexxable and welcome to day 2. Today we've got 2 things we want to achieve. The first one is I'm going to show you how to demo our Sleeping Beauty Android to clients and close them without having to build a thing. Okay, and this is one of the most important things that I want to tell you. Sell first and build later. Sell first, build later. I promise you it'll light a fire up your bum and you're just going to go absolutely berserk with the number of clients you're going to land if you do this, okay? So please don't procrastinate. I'm going to jump on with my tech guy, Graham Connolly, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to run through and build your engine, which is HighLevel. It's going to show you, this is the platform that shows you how to send SMS and it eventually connects to ChatGPT, which allows the whole thing to run. So HighLevel is a very important part of the process, and we're going to get you set up today so we can connect all the pieces tomorrow. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to take a little bit of pre-built footage here that I've done, and I'm going to show you how we can demo to this client, exactly how you can copy and paste the prompt and get started and start having coffee dates right away. Let's start in. Hi everyone, I'm here with Jamie Woods. Jamie, how you doing?
Good.
Good stuff, mate. Well, Jamie was the one, basically is my tech team and has had a massive part to play in building the Sleeping Beauty Android and everything that goes with it. It's been amazing, and he's Mr. AI, we call him. So yeah, thanks for helping me out here, mate. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a role play, and you're going to be the agency and I'm going to be a solar client, okay? And we'll just run through this quickly. I'm going to show you before we role play how we kind of we set this up so we can do it in the OpenAI Playground without building a bot, without doing any kind of building at all before we get started. I'm going to show you how to use a little extension which hides the screen and makes it look like our own custom kind of area. Okay, so, and we also hide the prompt. So let's dive in and then we'll change over to the role play mode. So in order to do this, you need an OpenAI account, which most of you will have by now. And then what you want to do when you log in is go down to the playground section, which is here. And you want to put the name Sarah in here, which is Sarah's the one we always use. And then you want to copy and paste the prompt from this prompt document that we've given you below this video. Okay, so there's 5 niches in here, but we've also got a custom one down the bottom here, which is the one that you can do for any niche, basically. So you can change the yellow bits yourself. Pink bits, Jamie, what are they again?
That's the field within Zapier. It's a dynamic field. I think Graham's going in on it on another video.
Yeah, we'll teach you how to do all that. But basically, you've got to change the yellow bits if you want to change the niches. Otherwise, just copy and paste if you're in one of these niches or in solar or whatever. For today, we're just going to go after the solar and demo that quickly. And I'm going to show you once you copy and paste this in. So you go down here. Obviously, you change the yellow bits, copy it here, go into change the bits, paste it in here, change the yellow bits, paste it in here, then you've got it all here, right? Now, the other thing is that we don't want the client to see all of this stuff going on in the background, right? So what I want you to do is download the StyleBot extension. I'm going to close this now. And once you've downloaded it, you've got it in your toolbar, you can go in here and then go open StyleBot, okay? After you do that, you scroll down to visibility and you can hide a section, right? So we hide this section here, we select it, and then we go hide. And as you can see, it disappears here, which means all of your intellectual property is completely protected because your prompt is key in making the Sleeping Beauty Android work. So I'm going to pass it over to Jamie now, and Jamie's going to take over and we're going to do a role play. I'm going to be called Solar UK Limited or something, Jamie.
Yeah.
So my business, I'm the owner of Solar UK Limited, and Jamie's an agency just like you, trying to sell me database activation with AI.
So Dan, before we get into this demo, what you need to know is an SMS is sent out, and we call it the Prince Charming hand raiser. What it does is it gives your database basically the kiss of life. Very simple formula. It just says, "Hi, it's Sarah from Solar UK Limited. Is that the same Jamie who inquired about solar panels on Wednesday?" Or if it's very old data, we could, change that to, back in December. And what that does is just kind of piques their interest while kind of revealing a little bit, about why we're messaging them.
Okay, so this is like I have 8,000 people in my database that I've accumulated over the years. Um, I've pretty much given up on all of those leads. I've got had them dialed. So you're basically saying that you want to send this SMS out to all of those 8,000 people, right?
Yeah, eventually. What we typically do is we start with about 100 leads a day. Once we
Yeah.
start seeing that we're getting a good result and that you're happy that your team is, reacting to the new inquiries coming through, we'll scale it up to the full 8,000, as fast as, your team can, take those new inquiries on. So what happens next is after we send that SMS message out, um, a lead who's interested might respond and they would say, yes, it is, just confirming their name. So you'll see this message is sent out now, and the AI is going to have a little think in the background. It might take a few seconds for it to have a think and come up with a result, but we'll just have to wait whilst that happens. Just see right now, it's got this circle here, which just says it's thinking.
So how, like, obviously if it's AI, we wouldn't want people to be SMSing. Like if it's a bot, we want people to know that it's like a human or think that it's a human, right? So like, I don't want SMSs coming, it's like unnatural for things to happen very quickly, right? Like, is that going to be a problem?
So it's not a problem. What we do is we add a bit of a small wait in between the message being generated and us actually sending that message out to people. So we had about a minute to 2 minute wait in between, them responding and the AI actually sending that message.
All right, cool. Oh, what we got here?
So this is the first message which the AI sends back when they confirm that, we have the right person. It was, thank goodness, my calendar just pinged me to call, but I didn't want to disturb you. Are you still looking into solar?
Okay.
What we're doing here is we're actually reframing them for a phone call later on down the line. You'll notice that we've said, my calendar just pinged me to call. So the lead at this point is aware that we're looking to give them a call. Say,
Love
I
it.
didn't want to disturb you. And are you still looking into solar?
I
So
love it because we dial ours like 12 times, like on the first 3 days with our dialing system. And we get about 50% contact rate. So anything outside of that 50% is, I mean, if you can get responses, then awesome. What type of response rates are you looking at?
So response rates for this, it ranges for, on average, is about 30%, depending on how old the data is. If it's ancient, then obviously it's going to drop off a little bit. But I'd say anywhere between within the last 2 years, it's achievable to get a 30% response rate.
Wow. And can you do this with bought lists as well, rather than opted in lists, or like I can get my hands on bought lists?
We can, but we wouldn't recommend it. You're going to get really bad results. And then there's obviously the compliance in it. People will respond, but you're kind of on the back foot when you're going after this data. We'd always
I
just
see.
recommend going after your typical web leads, whether that's Facebook, Google, YouTube, just people who already know you.
Awesome. Okay. Well, what's next? Can I answer some questions here, because I don't, you could be like totally manipulating this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What we're going to do is we're going to go through this as a perfect client first. And then once we've done that, I'm going to let you try and test and break it.
Okay. Okay, fair.
So it says, are you still looking into solar? And we're just going to say, yes, I'm still interested in solar. And the AI is basically going to ask a couple of questions. So it might be similar to the stuff you already have in your lead form, or it might be motivation-based questions. So obviously, because we're in the UK, we add a little bit of we try and make it look like a real person is talking to them. That's why it's saying smashing right now.
Mm. It's a
So
bit smashing is not really what my sales team would say, right? It sounds a bit informal in a way.
totally get it. This is just a demo, and really all we're looking to do right now is just kind of show you what it's capable of doing. It can be as formal as you want it or as informal as possible. Some of our other clients do actually like the informal approach, but if you're
Okay.
going to be more formal, we can definitely
Okay.
work on that.
Well,
Can you tell me what your average monthly utility bill is looking like? And we would say something like it's about £100 per month, and expensive. So just thinking, I reckon that does feel a bit steep. Well, the good news is that we can help you reduce those costs, and we'll make sure to beat any market price out there. Would you like to schedule a call back to discuss this further? So what we're looking to do is only ask a few questions. We're just looking to see that they're still interested in solar, get them to maybe feel the pain about the electricity bills that they're paying right now. And then what we're looking to do is arrange a time. It's all well and good having a conversation, but without that action, we need this to turn into a sale for you. So if I was to respond yes with this right now, it would send out a link to your website for them to book into a calendar. We can also do this conversationally, but a lot of people just do prefer the link right now.
okay.
Do that though. Are there any questions you want to kind of throw at the AI?
Um, yeah, what you were saying there about having it booked into our CRM, it doesn't have to be via calendar link. I think we'd like to start with the calendar link just so we can sync it to one person's calendar or whatever, right? But you do have the option to, I mean, can you book it into a dialer, for example?
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite easy for us to do that.
Okay. All right. And do you think it's too early to ask for a callback, like so early on? It's only a couple of messages. Like, what have you found it to work?
It does work. We can add in more, but the sweet spot is typically between 2 and 3 messages that we send. All we're really looking to do today is just kind of show you a bit of an example conversation.
Okay. Yeah. So it can qualify as well in a way.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How do we train this? Because my business has kind of bespoke solar panel packages, and it also sells to businesses and commercial solar as well. Like, how do we account for that? Like, can it read our website or FAQs or whatever and figure out how to answer according to our business in a bespoke manner?
So we can train it for you. And what we would do is ask for like a sample of some FAQs. But at the end of the day, what we don't want it to be doing is answering absolutely every single question. We want it to be booking calls. So if it does start asking questions about, if someone did start asking questions about pricing or the differences to solar panels, we believe that's best for a salesperson to be answering that. So we're just
Okay.
always going to default to getting the AI to attempt them to book in for a phone call.
All right, cool. The other question I've got is, I mean, it looks great, but like Sarah is the person messaging here.
Mm.
I haven't got Sarah in my call center. Like, what do you do there?
Well, we can change the name to anything you want it to be. If you feel more comfortable using a real person's name, we can go with that. If not, leave it as Sarah, because if someone does call in, ask saying that they've spoken to Sarah, at least your team knows what that lead is referring to.
Yeah, okay. All right, makes sense. All right, let me try and break it.
Go for it.
Well, good news is it can help you reduce these costs, sure to beat any market rate out there. Um, do you offer finance?
Absolutely. We do offer a range of finance options that make switching to solar more affordable. And advisors can go over these with you in detail. Shall we set up a time for a call to explore your options?
What happens if we don't offer finance?
We can train the AI to basically say, no, we don't offer finance, or we can just say to the AI to try and book them in for a phone call. It's still a
Okay,
potential sale.
okay. And we get a lot of people coming in thinking they can get solar for 0% because a lot of the lead gens out there are doing zero money down solar and stuff like that. Can I ask that question?
Yeah.
Is there any government rebates available with your solar panels?
Oops, spelt there wrong. Government incentives can certainly make a difference. Our advisors are up to speed on all the latest rebates and can fill you in on what's available. Would you like to book a call back and to
Nice.
get all the specifics?
Okay. Can I get a bit angry now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, Stop being so vague with your answers. Tell me what the bloody prices are. We get a lot of people that just it's quite rude to my staff and stuff like that because we deal with a lot of people, right?
Yeah,
Must be
you'll get that
interesting.
when you message, any number of people. Doesn't matter what industry you're in, you're bound to get a few people who, are a little bit upset by it.
Okay.
So it's still processing right now. And it goes, I understand wanting to get straight to the figures. I'm here to help ensure you get directed to someone who can provide a detailed breakdown of the costs. So what we do is we actually train it with some objection handling. And this is what it's
Okay.
trying to do right now. It's trying to empathize with how you're feeling. And then it's trying to direct it to the action we want it to, the lead to do, which is to book that call.
Interesting. Okay. And I just ask, I've got a north-facing home. I didn't think that solar panels can be fitted on a north-facing home or something like that. Yeah. Is that true? Yeah.
North-facing roofs can still be suitable for solar panels, although the specifics can get a bit technical depending on your exact situation. It's best to have one of our advisors take a look and give you tailored advice. Want to go ahead and book in a call back. What I would like you to
Nice.
do is pay attention to how it's being vague. So it is saying certainly, but it is saying it in the same sentence, although the specifics can get a bit technical depending on your exact situation. So it's not exactly a yes there.
Yeah.
And it's saying it's best to have one of our advisors take a look and give you tailored advice. Want to go ahead,
Mm,
book in a call back. So what
mm.
it's doing is it's keeping the person still interested. It's being vague, so it's never promising anything specific, and it's still going for that callback. As we mentioned earlier, these types of questions, we always train the AI to push for that callback.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. And can it do instant, like, because a lot of the times we've found that if we get back to a lead quickly, then it's a much higher chance of closing. Like, how can you help us with that?
Yeah, absolutely. What we would suggest that you do is you can you can basically attach this to all your live leads coming through. Um, and the AI will work straight away, reaching out to them, contacting them. If they're not responding, it will follow up, independently of itself, because some people might miss that first message. So it'll follow up with them as well periodically over a few days. What we
Yeah.
then do is or what the AI is doing is it's then basically grading who's responsive and who's not responsive. And a lot of our clients find that information useful because they know who to be targeting with phone calls and who can be left at the bottom of that pile.
Okay. Well, mate, it looks good, but like, how much is this going to cost, right? Like, I have to know whether or not this is going to be worth my while because there's obviously SMS costs, and I can't afford like 10K for a build, or what are we looking at here?
Yeah, no, I get that. So all we ask is for you to cover the SMS costs, and we do this on a performance basis. And what I mean by that is you would give us leads, initially at least, you'd give us your leads, which your sales team have dialed to death, whether that's from a month ago, whether it's from a year or 2 years ago, and anything which we would then find a sale in for, all we're looking for is about 50% of the profit from that sale.
50%, right? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean by profit?
So what I mean by profit is the net profit. So after all your costs, obviously installation, commission, needs to go into it. We're just looking at that net profit.
Okay.
We're looking to share in that with you. We want this to be found money for you and not an expense. So really, there is no risk to this. It's us putting in a lot of our own time, a lot of our own money, building this out. We wouldn't be wasting our time doing this unless we were confident that this would work for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, that's a great offer. How long does it take to get set up? And what do we
So
do from here?
so it takes up to 2 weeks to get started. It depends really on how fast you are looking to get going with this. It sounds like you're interested. Do you have like a development team and are they willing to take
Yep.
action straight away?
Yep. Yep. They're really good. He's my right-hand man. He's super fast.
Okay, brilliant. Well, we could definitely get that set up within 2 weeks. All we'd need from you is just a little understanding on, what CRM you're using. How we typically do this is we manage this, the conversations, and we then just update your CRM, just to show which leads are responsive, which leads want callbacks on certain days. It means that your staff don't have to learn a new system. They can just work on the system that you're using already. And we're just going to give you those updates.
Nice. Okay. All right. That's demo over, Jamie. Well done, mate. Thank you so much for your help today. Is there anything else to add, or are we pretty much there?
I think that's it. Yeah, no problem.
All right, mate. I'll let you go.
All right, take care.
Thanks, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video with Jamie. Remember that the demo does the selling, okay? The great thing about what we do here and what we're teaching is that you don't need to be a sales bro. You don't need to have fantastic sales skills to be able to sell this. All you have to do is be able to get on coffee dates with clients and let the demo do the selling. Super important, okay? So I'm sat here with Graham Connolly.
Hey,
How you going, Graham?
Not too bad.
So Graham's been involved in Flexxable for how many years now?
About 8.
8 years.
7
Wow.
maybe
Wow.
7.
Wow, that's a long time. And he's been at the forefront of all of this AI stuff since we began. He's one of the world's best at this. I know he doesn't like me bigging him up too much, but he's very good at what he does. And we're going to run through with you today how to set this up. Okay, I've just got some bullet points here. But we're just going to get you ready for the build tomorrow. Okay, so today is just a general overview. We're going to run through it. We're going to ask you to set up a few simple things, cut and paste jobs, and then tomorrow, day 3, we're going to look at the build. Okay, which is a bit more kind of tech heavy. Today is just a general overview. One thing I would say though, for those of you who are like the tech guys that love getting everything perfect before you get going, that can be really detrimental to your progress, okay? Please, this is why we've done it sequentially in this order. We want you to sell before you build. Sell before you build, sell before you build, okay? Reach out to your contacts, put this offer in front of them, and I guarantee you'll be on coffee dates in just like within days, okay? Worry about all the tech stuff later, okay? You can get help inside our community, the AAA Ninjas. If you haven't joined that already, there'll be a link below this video, okay? So please, if I can give you one mantra, is sell before you build. We have a saying here at Flex to jump out of the aeroplane and build the parachute on the way down. Okay, try and remember that. I'm going to keep drumming it into you. All right, so Graham, we're going to just do a quick walkthrough. I guess you're explaining to me before how we want to teach people the difference between the agency view and the sub-account view. So let's kind of get started, give us a run through, and we're going to give you a lot of very simple step-by-step kind of instructions here to kind of get set up for tomorrow's video.
Yep. So there's hey guys. So there's basically a lot of people get confused with this. So I wanted to really drill this home. There's 2 views that you can have inside HighLevel. Now this, you're in your agency view. This is basically just the back-end settings for HighLevel as a whole. You won't have to do too much here. So I'm just going to take you through the ones that you are going to need. So we go into the settings. And you're going to know you're in agency view because there should be click here to switch. There shouldn't be a sub account active. As you can see, you click here, there's sub accounts here, which is where all the magic happens.
That's where the clients go.
Where the clients go. This is your agency view when it says click here to switch, okay? So we're going to go into agency view settings first.
All right.
There's a couple of things we need to do in here to get it going. Firstly, you want to go to team. Now you should already be in here. Obviously, I've got quite a few people in ours. I'm just going to search myself, and then I'm going to go and press edit. Now, when you create a high-level account, you'll be super admin. You will be able to access all sub accounts, but you won't be in your team section in the sub account. So you have to go and actually manually add yourself to the sub account you want to work in if you want to be added to a calendar.
Okay.
So I'm just going to search the one we're doing, which is here. I'm going to add myself in there, and I'm going to press save. Once that's been saved, that's all good to go.
So will people who have just started this demo be able to do that?
Yes.
They'll be able to search for the Prince Charming.
Yeah. So
Okay.
they should just search the sub account that you created in day one.
Yep.
It should be there. You should be the only one in your team if you're brand new
Yep.
to this. So that's all good. Then the next thing you want to go and do is go to phone integration. Now we've already set ours up, so I'm going to get my videographer to add a few bits to show what it's meant to look like. But basically what there'll be a big green button saying link up, lead connect to phone system. You click that, you follow a few little prompts, and you've got a phone system ready within a couple of clicks, I would say. Now, a very important thing to remember, which a lot of people come to me in the support group with, is they say, oh, I've connected that, but I haven't got a phone number, nothing's working, blah, 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 blah. This is the agency side. We're just getting the agency side ready. So what this does, this connects up all your current sub accounts and your sub accounts moving forward. Every time you create one, this will make sure they have the lead connector system connected to your sub account.
Yeah.
And then there'll be phone settings inside your sub account where you go and do your A2P, your regulatory bundles, and buy your numbers.
Okay, cool. So really the agency side is your hub, right? And in today's video, we're just getting it ready to connect all of your sub accounts, which is where your clients will go when you start landing them.
Yeah, correct.
All right, cool.
So that's all we need to do right now for the agency side. If you do want to do emailing and all that kind of stuff, we'll put a video below for email best practices inside HighLevel, and you would have to go and edit some of the settings in email services. For the Prince Charming Challenge, you don't need emails. It's just SMS.
Okay, let me just talk to you about that, right? So when it comes to working with clients, we get this a lot. Our clients have huge email databases, right? Can we do what we're doing for SMS, but with email? Yes, you can, but we're not going to cover that inside what we're teaching here, because it just doesn't give fast enough results. So there's so many fish in the ocean that have a database with phone numbers, right? We get between a 20 and 50% response rate when we send our Prince Charming SMS out, all right, which means that we just get results instantly. It's fast and it works way, way better than with email. Do you want to do it? If you want to do it in email, then you can do it, but it's just a bit slower, and we recommend just getting started with SMS.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Correct. So now we want to move away from the agency side to the sub account side. So this is where you build it for your client.
Yep.
So I'm just going to go find the sub account that I've got, which is this one.
And they set that up yesterday.
Yep.
You guys would have set that up yesterday, so you should be following through pretty easily and nicely here.
Yep. So your snapshot should be uploaded, the latest one. And yeah, so this should all be just a shell with the snapshot uploaded, so we can go in and do everything that we need to do.
Perfect.
So firstly, you come through, this is a dashboard. So you can set up loads of reporting things here. I think it's pretty much, you can just go and click the edit dashboard and do some stuff. We don't really use the dashboard that much. We use the opportunity section here, but this is available to you if you wanted to do that. I know some people like getting a bit geeky with it. Conversations section. So this is once you start sending out SMSs and people are replying, every conversation is going to come into this section here. I know, Dan, you like looking at this, this view.
So this is really cool, right? So I was talking about the Prince Charming SMS before, which is going to be preloaded into your snapshot, right? It gets between a 20 and 50% response rate. And when you hit go, it's really exciting, right? Because you see the first SMS go out, and then you see all of the responses coming back in, right? And you see it working its magic, and you see appointments getting booked. It's so exciting, it gives you a real dopamine hit, right? What I would say is that when you start with a client, make sure you kind of stay in this section, right, and have a look at it, because you will see conversations, 4 or 5 conversations back and forth with AI, and then they won't book won't book their appointment in, right? And it just kind of ends. That's a really good time for you to reach out to the client and get them to have a look inside the system and maybe call that lead, right? Because just because they haven't booked in the appointment doesn't mean they're not a really good lead. Okay, so we'll talk about all of this stuff later as we get a bit more advanced, but I love looking at the conversations tab because you can just see so much gold in there, so much opportunity for your clients.
Yeah,
right?
And just to touch on that as well, it is a very good place when you've just started doing the Prince Charming Challenge to actually troubleshoot and see if there's any messages you don't like, which is why we always recommend to start off slowly, so that don't send too many leads through at the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next up is calendars. So we're going to have to do a little bit of back-end work here to connect your Google account to the calendar system. So if you just go to calendar settings, this has recently just changed inside HighLevel. So you've got kind of like your calendar, which is in the snapshot. It's called the appointment calendar. That will be there. This pencil button is where you can edit the calendar.
So let me just get this right. So we're going to connect, we're asking you in the sub account to connect your own personal calendar for the time being.
Yep.
Right, because you haven't got a client yet, but what's the reason why we want to connect their personal calendar to the sub account?
So it's just to show you how you connect up a calendar, and then you can use that training to connect a client's calendar. Now inside HighLevel, I believe you can connect either a Google calendar, an Outlook calendar, or I believe they've just got in beta Calendly as well. So we find some clients will have a Google calendar, and if you can connect your Google account to HighLevel, and they can share the Google Calendar with you, you'll have access to their calendar inside your Google account, so you can use this process to link it up. And I will share a video with you of how your client can share their Google Calendar with your Google account.
Okay, we'll put something in the description box which will give you a bit more of an understanding of that. The other thing, if you're thinking and you're more experienced agency owner, big clients, they don't have Google Calendars, they don't use Calendly, they use their own CRM. All of that stuff is a little bit more advanced. Also, what you can do if you're starting out with a test is just send the leads to a Google Sheet that you can share. If it's a smaller client, you can't be bothered setting up all the calendar integration stuff. You can send the leads to a Google Sheet and share that with your client sales teams. And then you can just see the leads, their appointments coming in, and that might work for you as well. And we'll put that video in the day 3, which is tomorrow. Okay, so the Prince Charming training, the Prince Charming Challenge is about booking appointments. We're showing you how to integrate it into a calendar for now, but there's so many ways to skin a cat. So for today, this is what we're going to teach you. Okay. All right, let's go. Yeah.
Cool. So this is the way you can share the calendar. So this is where you get your calendar link to add to your prompt or to your HighLevel custom values, which we'll show you in a sec. And then here is where you can, there's a troubleshooting button, which is brand new. I've never actually used that button before.
Okay.
And here's the more options of how you can manage your calendar.
Okay.
So first and foremost, we're going to go to connections up here. Now, because we added our staff member, this wouldn't, if you hadn't have done what I did in the agency view and added myself to this account, this wouldn't show up. So now we can connect to calendar basically. So we can just say add new. We can go and connect a Google Calendar here. We'll go and select my Google account. Press continue, allow, and just follow kind of like the prompts. And this will connect my calendar up so it can now be used. So as you can see, link calendar.
Perfect.
Conflict calendars like that. Now, if your client does share their calendar with you, you can go and amend this and select a different calendar in your Google account. For now, I'm just going to leave it as my personal or as my work calendar. And this looks all good to me. You can go to advanced settings and start to do two-way sync. And that's totally up to you. I'm just going to leave it for recommended for now, which is the one-way sync. We'll close that down. So now we want to go back to calendars and we want to go and edit. Now here's where you can really go and just change the calendar to whatever you want it to be, basically. So at the moment, the calendar name is this, and we've got a 30-minute call with agency name, and we're going to amend these custom values in a sec, so this should make it all nice and personalized.
Yep.
You can change all of this, totally up to you. You can see the meeting invite title. This is what shows up in the leads calendar. So you want to personalize that to whatever you want it to be. If it's going to be a Zoom meeting, you can change the location value to a Zoom link or a Google Meet link.
What I'd recommend, sorry to interrupt, what I'd recommend, guys, is just follow exactly what we're doing, word for word, letter for letter, get it live, and then testing it, and then you'll see how things work, right? And then you'll be able to go back and then change things to suit, your client or whatever you'd like. So just follow it step by step for now. And then once it's live, you'll be able to tweak.
Cool.
All right.
So you can just save. Then you can change your availability, which at the moment it's just a standard 9 to 5.
Yeah.
30-minute intervals. So you can change how long your meeting's going to be in the duration. The intervals, that just shows you, so you can book in at 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30 because it's the 30-minute interval. If you change to 15, it'll be 10, 10:15, 10:30, 10:45, 10. So it's up to you. Minimum scheduling notice, that's 4 hours. So you have 4 hours to prepare. You're not going to get a meeting booked in the next hour, basically. And the date range is set at 6 days.
6 days in advance. All of this stuff, these guys can figure out on their own, mate. It's all good.
Yep. Okay, cool. So we'll just go through. We just want to get down to connections. We can connect the calendar. He can amend your notifications and stuff like that. So if someone books in, we'll just go through that.
By the way, guys, if you haven't done so already, join the HighLevel support group because all the stuff that we're talking about now is like generic stuff, right? They're the guys that can help you with that support stuff, or just Google it on YouTube and have a look, right? Because there's so many resources out there. We're not here to teach you how to do the basics, right? We're here to teach you how to get appointments for clients. Okay, so please use your own resourcefulness when it comes to the stuff that's generic. Right, keep going.
Also, the AAA Ninjas is brilliant for that as well.
Yes.
We're all in there. There's a lot of high-level experts in there that will easily help some of these questions.
Yep.
So connections, this is where you want to link up to your Google Calendar that we've just selected. So as you can see I've got loads in there. This is where some clients' calendars could come in. I'm going to select my personal one here. I'm just going to do one way for now. Press
What's
save.
the difference between one way and two way?
One way, it just does less. So 2 ways, if you delete things inside HighLevel, it can affect your Google Calendar. It's probably just safer to do one way for the time being.
Okay.
But you can do 2 way, it's not an issue. And then, so that's all the calendar sorted. Linked to your Google Calendar. So now if we go back to, calendars, this is all connected now. So if you do a new appointment, it should send the appointment through to the Google Calendar because it's all linked up. The contact section, this is where you're going to upload your kind of like CSV file from the client. They're normally going to send you like 10,000 leads. Just upload them all here. And I think it's this button here. You just import contacts and you just select, just select your CSV here and then you'd map the columns to the custom fields and then you just verify.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah. So for those of you who need a refresher, right, our offer is getting our clients' old leads and turning them into sales using AI and SMS, right? You should know that by now. But there's different ways for the clients to give you the leads, right? They can give you their old leads in a CSV file. And some clients will give the opportunity to API the leads from their CRM over to you, especially when you start, and this is a little bit more advanced, but when you reach out to clients and you get results with their old leads, they're going to want you to take their fresh leads as well that they're generating from Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever. And you can do the same thing. You can API the leads straight into HighLevel and work them that way as well in real time, which is when you really start building that passive income. Okay, not what this Prince Charming Challenge is about, but it's your upsell once you get your calls in. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah. So then here, so we can click into an example contact. And this is their contact profile, basically. So this is where they have all their custom fields in. This is where you can kind of go and troubleshoot as well. As you can see, when these first messages sent, lead response, when they respond, that gets filled. You can just pop in here and you can kind of see what automations they're in. This is where you kind of come to have a little look at certain contacts.
So once your client's live, right, and you start seeing the leads being worked back and forth in that conversation tab, you can then go into these different sections and just have a look around, okay? The best way I've always learned is by kind of doing, right? So once it gets live, then you'll quickly figure this stuff out.
Yep.
Don't worry if it's overwhelming just now.
Yep. And you can also create smart lists in here. So for example, if I just wanted to see the follow-up guys, I'll just go to more filters. I would type in tag, apply, and then it would just show me these guys here. And if you wanted to save that as a smart list, you could save it here and then just call it follow up. And this would dynamically update and it would just come up here. So you can just check that there.
All right, cool.
Cool. Then opportunities. So this is where you're going to see your leads moving through the pipeline. So when you add your lead list to the first automation, which I'm going to show you in a sec, they will all get added into this section of the opportunities or the pipeline. And then as they take actions down the line, they're going to get moved along. So you'll see a certain percentage go to lead responded. So as soon as they respond to that Prince Charming message, they're going to get moved to this stage. So you can track how, like, your response rates and how well your initial message is doing.
Yep.
Then if they have a couple more responses, they get moved to the multiple responses stage. Then once they've qualified and the appointment calendar link has been sent out to them, they get moved to lead qualified. And then when they get booked in, they get sent to client.
Yeah.
And if they're D&D, which is basically if they say an opt-out message, so it could be stop or we often use delete. If they say either of those words, they just get added to this column so you can actually track your D&D percentage. Because ideally, inside HighLevel, your opt-out rate should be less than, I believe it's 2% now. So out of 100, you can't have more than 2 people opting out.
All right. So this is a really good way for you once you start with your clients and they've uploaded their CSV file and you hit go, this thing will magically populate, right? You'll be able to see how well things are going. It's really exciting to look in the opportunities tab. All right, what's next?
Cool. So that's the opportunities. Then down here, I don't believe we use any of marketing. This is kind of like the social planner emails. You don't really need that. Automation. This is the real meat of what we do. This is where this is what houses the actual engine. So let's just pop into the Prince Charming Sleeping Beauty Android first.
So once I have their snapshot, they'll see all this pre-populated.
This will all be in your snapshots. This will all be pre-populated. Do you want to build anything?
All right, cool.
So we've recently changed how we do it. So now we have each workflow has a specific purpose. So this start one, this is where your leads will first go. This is what starts the Android. It'll be dripped. So we have a drip mode in there. What this means is you can add 10,000 leads to this workflow. Only 100 will get put through a day and only 1 will get put through every 2 minutes. This helps with your number health. You don't want to absolutely smash your number out of the gate. It's a bit like email, you've got to warm your number up a little bit. So start slow and build over time. So that's going to help you not just burn through 10,000 straight away and get your number flagged. Then it gets tags are added. So this is going to be the first message that's sent. Then we have the DBR Android. This just lets us know that they're currently in the DBR Android. Prince Charming message is sent out. And the Prince Charming message, we have it here. We're gonna add it in as a custom value in a sec. So I'll show you that in a sec. This is where they get added to that first stage of the opportunity we were talking about a minute ago. They get added in, message sent, no response yet. And as soon as they respond, they'll get added to the next one. This is where we update the AI memory. So this is basically a custom field that will house the whole chat history. So every time the AI responds, it will get added to that chat history. And every time someone else responds or a lead responds, it's going to get added there as well.
So you guys don't have to worry about this at all.
No.
We're just giving you a little walkthrough. It's pre-populated and it'll work its magic behind the scenes.
Yeah, so we've set this all up so you don't have to do anything. It's just, I find it very important that people actually understand how these workflows work, because when it comes to troubleshooting or kind of explaining anything, people often don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Then we update with the first message sent, which is this. So we just update a custom field with the Prince Charming SMS, which we'll then use with ChatGPT. And then we're going to wait for a reply. If they don't reply after a day, they're going to go down this route, down this branch, where we're going to send out bump messages just to try and get them a few more people to respond in case their life got too busy. And then this is where we do like bump. I think we do 3 bumps after 3 days, basically, just to try and really eke it out. And if they do reply, they're going to go down here. We're going to update the contact, the custom field with their lead response, which is what then gets sent into ChatGPT to formulate a response to that. They get added as a tag responded, and then they get moved to the next stage of the opportunity pipeline. If we come down the bump side, again, we're just updating the AI memory with the bump message. So just to signify that we've sent them 2 messages now. And then if they reply to this, they then kind of get moved back up to this bit here. They reply to any of the bumps. And the final bit I need to explain is the memory. This is different to AI memory. Memory is just, if they do get sent a bump message, we want ChatGPT to have an understanding that they're replying to that bump message rather than the first message sent. So that's that. So that's the first one. When they do reply, they're going to trigger this one, which is the create response workflow. It gets triggered when a customer replies to the DBR Android. And they check what stage of response they're in. So if it's the first message, they're going to come down here. If it's the second message, it's going to come down here. And then if it's anything else, it goes down this route here. You can add a tag called manual takeover. So say you're in your conversation section and you see a chat that you like and you don't want the AI to respond anymore, you want to take it over. You can just add a contact tag called manual takeover, and then you can go back and forth with them, and they will not get replied to by the Android. You'll get a notification as well if they respond. We'll set that all up in day 3, don't worry. And here it's just adding tags and removing tags and creating opportunities, basically. After they've replied to the second message, they get added to the multiple responses section in the opportunity pipeline, which I showed you earlier. And then down this route, this is where they start to generate the response from the AI, okay? So firstly, we add a tag called reply generating. This is what triggers our next workflow. I'll show you in a sec. It waits for a minute. Now, while the contact has this tag, any response they send in within this minute here, it will get added onto the lead response section. This helps deal with multiple responses. So I don't know if many of you do this, but say someone sends you a message, you're like, yeah, on one message send, and you send another message and another message instead of all in one. These 2 bits here are what capture those multiple messages going on. And
I think this is a little bit a little bit more complex stuff. Right, Graham wants to show you this so you can understand it. As I said, once you get started and you see the leads coming in, I'd recommend going back through these workflows and you'll have a better understanding of why these are here and why they're so important. We've been doing this for probably 2 years now, and we've sent probably millions of SMSs, and we've had stuff break and we've iterated, and we've had it break again and we've iterated, and we've got to the point where we have an extremely robust system that's going to work perfectly for you, which is why we're running through this now. Okay, so don't worry if you're getting confused about this. It's just working, right? So it will just work in the background. Have a look again come back to this and have a look again once you're live so you understand how this works, all right?
Yeah.
Keep going.
And after this minute has passed, and you can change this to half a minute if you wish, we're going to remove the reply generating tag. So we can just go on with the workflow. Then we remove from the AI bumps. Update the chat history again with what they responded with their lead response. We're going to send it to ChatGPT. So this is the webhook. Obviously, we're going to build this all tomorrow, so don't worry. I'll go through this all again tomorrow. And then clear the lead response and clear bump memory. Okay, so once it's been sent to ChatGPT, we're now waiting for ChatGPT to respond. That workflow's done its job. The double message check, this is just, as I said, checking the double message. So if anyone replies while they've got this tag, we're going to update the lead response and concertina it. So we're going to have their previous lead response, and we're going to add their next response onto that, okay? That's what this workflow does. But currently we're waiting for ChatGPT to respond. All these workflows have done their job so far. As soon as ChatGPT responds, it will populate the ChatGPT custom field, which again, I'll show you how we build this tomorrow. Once that's done, we have a little condition that checks if it's empty or not. If it's been filled rather than cleared, it's going to go down this route, and we're going to send the AI response like this via the custom field that's been populated by ChatGPT. We're going to update the chat history with ChatGPT's response. We're going to then clear ChatGPT, and we're going to add them to the AI bumps. Now the AI bumps, so a bit different to the bumps from what I showed you at the start. These are built dependent on the conversation. So they will get sent to ChatGPT.
So for those of you who are wondering what a bump is, right? Like if an SMS goes out and the person doesn't get back, then we bump, and we can have a pre-scripted bump that we write. Or what Graham's saying now is that we can have AI write the bumps based on the previous conversation.
Correct, yeah. And it's good because then it's actually captured within ChatGPT's memory rather than being outside of its memory, so it doesn't know it's been sent. And the way we do this is we wait 24 hours after we've sent a message in a conversation. We then update the lead response with a system message, which basically says the user has not responded. Create a short 20-word or less gentle reminder message to continue the conversation. Do not output goodbye. This is all to do with the prompt. You'll understand it when I show you that in day 3. Then we send it to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will formulate the bump message. And then we add the tag bump response, wait 10 minutes, and then we clear lead response in ChatGPT. Now the beauty of this, when it gets sent to ChatGPT for an AI bump, it will then trigger this workflow again. And then that's what's going to send out the message, the bump via ChatGPT. It'll be this workflow. So these 5 workflows are what basically powers the Android. Then there's some delivery aspects to it. So we have this workflow here that basically, this is looking out. Every time ChatGPT drops a message, it's checking. So it'll trigger this workflow and it's checking, have they qualified yet? And basically you want to just update that with your calendar link. I'll show you that in day 3, don't worry. It's just looking for your calendar link being dropped. Once ChatGPT has dropped that calendar link, we're going to say, okay, they've been qualified and they're ready to book an appointment. And we update their opportunity status to lead qualified. And obviously we want to wait until they book an appointment. And then what we're looking for then is appointment booked. This is in the appointment workflows. When they book the appointment into the calendar, we're then going to add a tag, send a notification, and then also send to client in the pipeline stage. So that's how kind of like the workflows all seem together. We're going to build that all tomorrow, and we're going to get a full working Android for you. So don't worry too much if you didn't understand any of that. I just wanted to kind of like, as Dan said, go back, have a look at these once you've kind of like got it working. And then also in sites, we've given you a website. There's 3 in there at the moment, but there will only be 1 in your snapshot. We're just building out a new one now. And there is a video on how to build that and get it ready. I think it's the 5th video of the Prince Charming Challenge.
Okay, yeah. So we've given you a full website with all of the copy and everything done. It's a plug and play template, and it will be the number 5 video. So if you're brand new and you haven't even got a domain or you haven't even got an agency yet, then it's going to be perfect for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So in the settings, this is where you want to set up your business profile settings. So if it's for a client, you want to make sure you fill out all of this for your client, just so you have everything down pat.
So what do they have to fill in here if they haven't got a client yet? Do they put their own?
Yeah,
put your own agency in.
Put your own agency in. So I'll put our address in, all that kind of stuff. This is very important for Americans for A2P regulation, which is for your phone number. Which basically allows you to text and SMS. We are putting a video below this to show you how you can fill out your A2P registration. But with the business profile, this is basically what they use for the brand to verify the brand or the client that you're using. So it's very important to get all this done.
So when you land your first client, right, you're going to have to fill this out perfectly, because in order to send SMS, you're going to have to, they're going to have to verify the business is real, which will allow them to give them the okay to send SMSs for their business. Okay, so as I said, it's going to be covered in future videos for when you learn that client, but for now, just fill it in as best you can for your own.
After speaking about that, next up is phone numbers. So as I was speaking about earlier, we've done the agency side of the phone numbers now. Here's where you actually buy your phone number and get it all set up. So in here, depending on what country you're in, you can just go and add number, add phone number, and you can go and select whatever country you're in. I'm going to select a UK number. I'm going to select a mobile.
So this is the number that people will be seeing the SMS comes from?
Yeah.
Okay, on behalf of the client?
Yeah. It's a different varying prices for numbers, but it's normally quite minimum. So it's $1.15 a month. So I'm just going to buy that number. And this is where you have to try and do your regulatory bundle or A2P. So for the UK and most of the places in Europe, and I think Australia as well, you need to set up a regulatory bundle. I'm not going to do this now. I've put a video below this one to show you how to fill out your regulatory bundle, which is here. So you can go into the regulatory bundle and address, and you need to set up an address bundle first, then a regulatory bundle. This is for UK and Europe and other countries.
We've got videos on how to do this for A2P for America and also for every other country in the world as well.
A2P is in the Trust Center, and I'll drop a separate video down there for the US guys or people who want to do work in the US. And this is how you do your A2P. So that will all be covered below. Just go in the description. And in here, then you can go and check your messaging and analytics. You can see how many are sent, how many are delivered, how many are failed. Error rates, I think you want to keep below, I believe it's 6%. So that's basically, undelivered handsets, stuff like that. And the messaging limit is the next bit. So you'll automatically be added into a ramp process, which is like 100 messages a day. When you hit 100, you then get up to 250 messages a day. This is a high-level specific thing. They've introduced this to try and stop people from absolutely spamming 10,000 a day. Yeah. You can reach out to high-level support and ask for this to be upped, so you don't have to go through this, because it is very annoying if you're trying to run for a client. You can't hit exactly 100, but just make sure you are dripping them slowly like this.
It's all you should need when you start with a client, but if you search my YouTube channel, you'll see one on how to ramp up SMS limits.
Yeah, and we can even add that below.
Yeah.
SMS compliance as well. For the first 8 days, you have to have these on. After 8 days, you can uncheck these if you're above the 3,000 SMS limit here. So I would ask HighLevel to up your limit to 3,000, promise you're going to be very compliant, and then take these off and write your own compliance message in your first message, the Prince Charming, which we'll show you tomorrow. Finally, we just want to fill out these custom values. So if you're an agency, you can go and amend this. And then you want to go and update the bump messages.
This Google Doc will be given to you in the description?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, it's below. And bump one. And this fills out basically some of the automations that we just went through.
So you actually have to do this?
Yep.
All right.
Yep, just to make sure it's all populated. Cool. Now, this is for, if you're doing it for a client, you want to put your client's name in here. So let's do.
So if you are brand new to this, I would recommend setting this up for your own business to start with, right? And just simulating the whole thing for your own agency. Pretend you're a client, get it working, and that'll give you a good idea, a good understanding of everything before you go live with your clients. It's important that you figure this out.
Yes, exactly. Now, on all the notification emails, you're going to want to put your name and your email address. This is going to send notifications out. So do Dan Wardrobe. And the from email address is the email that you're sending from. Cool, updates. You want to go and get this. So basically before you paste this, you're going to want to amend this. So you want to add your Android name in. So ours is normally called Sarah. And then you want to add in the name of your client or your business, whichever you're doing it for. It's the same concept of who wanted help with their debt. There we go. Now that's done, we can go and copy this in.
And by the way, while I've got you guys here, that first message that you see there is really critical, okay? We've given you a template, but the thing is that you want to really spend time on this first message, okay? Otherwise, you know, you're not gonna get a great response, okay? So make sure that you think about that first message. If your client is selling car insurance or phone insurance or whatever it might be, make sure you have a message out there which is designed to get a response, okay?
Yeah.
I would recommend, and we're very active inside our group, the AAA Ninjas on School, before you get going, okay, please, when you've got that client, before you get going, please give us what your first message is, have a go at writing it yourself, and then me or my team will come in and review it for you to make sure that you're off to a good start, okay? If you write the wrong message, you're going to not get great response rates and your whole campaign could fall over, okay? So please do leverage the community for help on that.
Yeah.
All right?
And then finally, we've got the calendar link. So let's go get the calendar link now. So we want to go to calendars and we want to go and click on the share calendar, and this will bring your calendar up. So I'm going to just select the permanent link, go into custom values, and I'm going to edit custom value and add it in. Now there's ways to get prettier links. So you can either use short.io and add a subdomain on there, or you can add your domain into HighLevel and create a calendar page.
So when people
in here,
when people are sent, you know, the last stage of the opportunities tab that we were showing you about before, when people are ready to book an appointment, that our Prince Charming, our Sleeping Beauty Android will send a calendar link, right? And you can make that look pretty, or you can make it branded to the client's domain, or you can just send that long, kind of ugly one. I don't think it matters too much, but you can customize it if you would like.
Yeah. And then there's a few other areas where you can go and have a look. I'm not going to show you today because it's just not needed, but custom fields is where you can add custom fields that can get added to your contact profile, and you can update with whatever automations you have going on. You have all the ones that you need in there already, so that's all good. And then tags, you can add tags here if you want to tag them with anything else going forward. But again, we've got all the tags that are needed to work, so you don't really need to go through those at all. And I think that is everything.
All right, good stuff, guys. So to recap, don't be overwhelmed with what you've seen today, okay? As I said, go build it, just fill in the blanks like we've just shown you, like it should be pretty fast. Actually, I might get Graham to do, we'll put something below this video, almost like if you don't, like, so you don't have to watch 1 hour's worth of video, okay? There might be like a little step 1, step 2, step 3 with arrows or whatever that shows people just what to do, just what to fill in. And you can do that in literally probably 5 to 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Are you able to put that together?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that way you've got something to refer to that's just boom, 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 get it up and running, get it built for your own. If you've got a client, fantastic, go get build it for that. If you haven't got a client yet, then go build it for your own agency, have a play, get it up and running, and you'll really kind of enjoy seeing things working, all right? Saying all that, tomorrow's going to be a big day for you. That's when you're going to have to do the build, the full build, and get this ready. But in the meantime, start reaching out to business owners, okay, with this offer, because if you can get them on Zoom, you can get the demo in front of them on the coffee dates, that's when things are going to really start rolling for you, I promise you. Okay, we've had students that have gone from 0 to 50K per month plus in a year by doing this. They've completely changed their life around, people on benefits, people that have started from scratch, right? This is what I call the offer of the century. Please get it in front of clients, and you're going to start, you can change your life very quickly. All right, so without further ado, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Cheers. Bye-bye.